Hi, I'm Dan Lakin from Bar Events UK. Usually we supply giant teepees, Moa bars and event staff. But while our government doesn't really know what to suggest party-wise, we're doing nothing other than these classes and this live show every week from Leeds in England, going around the world chatting to bartenders and making drinks. So, welcome to Around the World in 80 Drinks, and thank you again for tuning in. The track at the start is our brand new still, it's only a few weeks old, track we had made for this show, so it's we tried to put some feel into it, so it sounded like it came from around the world, and it's also an awesome dance track, I think, and it builds you into what should be a party atmosphere to make some drinks and have some fun, and then go around the world and chat to some bartenders. On that note, I thought it might be worthwhile saying that we're making a soft drink this week, a soft cocktail. In the industry, we drink far too much, and we do. And mental health is obviously quite an issue when you're drinking so much and working those hours and deal with some proper arseholes, let's face it, late at night. So soft drinks are an important thing, and also something to drink that's nice when you're at home, if you're at home on your own or whatever. It's quite easy just to go, you know what, I need a drink, I've had a hard day, so you have a gin and tonic. You have an alcoholic drink because it tastes nice. There's not many soft drinks out there that you just want to drink just because it tastes nice. Cup tea is great, but you know, you've been drinking that all day. You know, a tonic or a Coke or a lemonade is fine, but a little bit boring. You can have those anytime. So soft cocktails is a great thing to have when you're at home and you fancy a nice drink, but you don't want to start drinking. It's fun to make, and it tastes awesome as long as you're making it well. So on that note, there's a few things to cover there, but let's first of all cover Bax Botanics. That's what we're using. Today we're using C. Buckthorn. It's a West Yorkshire company. Two products I've got here is Verbena and C. Buckthorn, both are Bax Botanics. So their thinking is basically distilling like you would a gin, so using loads of botanicals to make different spirits which are alcohol free. So distilling water basically. So it's local to us, and they're making essentially a mix that tastes great. So it's up to you what you do with it. Their recommended pour is with some nice tonic. But you can make it into whatever cocktail. So all the ingredients that go into this are organic, they're sustainable, they're fair trade, which is, you know, what this industry should really be looking at, especially this day and age. And what's happening today, as in this is going live on YouTube today. What date is it? Saturday the 12th. Oh, hence the happy birthday banners. My daughter's 2 today. Yay for being a dad for 2 years. We're still going strong. So what's happened today is that London has hosted the first event since lockdown for the industry, as in cocktails in the city. UK Bartenders Guild have created this soft drink, this non-alcoholic cocktail, which we're using here today, and basically served it there all day. So UK Bartenders Guild, if you don't know about it, is, you know, a guild based around bartenders and helping bartenders. It's about training and helping. They heavily work with the Drinks Trust, which is a charity that help hospitality people when they need help. So at the moment, a lot of hospitality people need help. They've been made redundant. They still have outgoings. You know, they need the help there to support them. So that's what the Drinks Trust is about. So UK Bartenders Guild and Drinks Trust have worked together, and basically all proceeds of the sales of these drinks today have gone to that. So I chatted to Declan McGurk, the now ex bar director of Savoy in London, asked him if I could make this drink, if I credited him. He said absolutely. So Declan and a guy who I haven't met yet, but I hope one day will, Nick Murdy, who is a bartender at Savoy, have been on the bar today making these drinks, sending them out, and supporting UK Bartenders Guild. We'll put the links on Facebook and Insta and YouTube, and also Drinks Trust. So let's get underway. Let's make this drink. So the main ingredient is Bax Botanics, and like I say, it's C. Buckthorn, and it's 50ml. So if you imagine making a drink with spirits, if you're going to use spirits or liqueurs, like I say most week, you're going to have predominantly the heaviest, the spirit being the heaviest measure. So you want to round it up to, you know, it's going to be about 50ml of the heaviest measure, and including liqueur. So if you're using spirits, a mixture of spirits and liqueurs, and it's going to be about 50ml combined. So, you know, that's basically our base of the drink. So 50ml of that. It's got 5 ml of lime. So depending on your limes, you know, an eighth to a quarter lime is about 5 ml. I just realised I'm making it in the glass I'm going to serve, so I'm just going to quickly pour it into my Boston glass. And then this here is honey water. So you can buy honey water or you can make it. If you're going to make it, it's about 1 teaspoon or 1 bar spoon of honey to about 120 ml of hot water, mix it up, and that's it really. So that is 30 ml of honey water. Okay, we're going to shake that up. Just going to pop some ice in there. Pop some ice in my mixing glass. And give it a good hard shake. So, like I say, Declan gave me this recipe, said, yeah, fire away, make it. So far, that's what he suggested to me. Although he said 5 ml of lime, don't chuck a lime in, so he might tell me off for that. And then it's topped. He said top it with double Dutch mixer. If you haven't come across that, Google it. It's a great mixer. Cranberry and ginger. I don't have any cranberry juice, and I don't have that product. So all I'm topping it with today is ginger beer. It's Fever Tree ginger beer, great ginger beer. But essentially, this drink's missing the cranberry. But you know, give it a go. I made this earlier just with this product, and it is a fantastic soft drink. Absolutely fantastic soft drink. As I've said before, be imaginative with your garnishes. Garnish it, try and enhance what's in the drink. So it's got some lime in there, put some lime on the edge. I've also said before, use your herb garden. It's free. And it's exactly what these guys are shouting about. It's probably organic, it's sustainable. It's probably not fair trade because you're probably not trading it, but you get the idea. So I've just pulled out some of my herb garden, some oregano and thyme, just to pretty it up. It really does enhance the drink. If you try these are stuffed, absolutely stuffed with botanicals, different herbs and flavours and smells. So please do try and find them, please do try them. And there we go. This is called a Seawood. And it's absolutely delicious. So I really do recommend you try these drinks. And they don't say, you know, it should always be drunk as a soft cocktail. You can try it with a bit of vodka, rum, gin, whatever it is. Just play with it, mix with it, and see what you can create. Cheers. So, next up, we have got an awesome bartender in Portland, Oregon. I think the interview that I did two or 3 days ago now tells everything you need to know about her. She's travelled around the world. She's originally from New York. She now lives in Portland, Oregon. Anyway, more about her in the interview. Let's roll VT. Leah, thanks so much for joining us on Around the World in 80 Drinks. How are you doing over there?
We're doing okay. A lot is happening here in Portland right now. It's probably not international news, but the pandemic, of course, and then there's been a wildfire on one of the mountains here in Oregon. So in some parts of the state, the sky is just bright red, like it looks like something out of a Stephen King movie or something like that. It's okay here in Portland, but yeah, 2020 has just been a wild year, and it just won't stop.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I did hear a little bit about that because we had someone on from Oregon. It was quite near the start of all this Around the World in 80 Drinks. So tell us a bit more about that then. Is it affecting everyone's lives over there? I mean, how bad is it?
We're okay. We're in the city, of course, in Portland, so it's definitely affecting the people in the more rural areas. I know some people are being forced to evacuate, but hopefully they'll get everything under control because at least they're accustomed to dealing with that kind of thing here in California and Oregon. Unfortunately, it's pretty common. So
Okay.
hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah, okay. And then obviously moving on to COVID then, what's the crack over there at the moment with the bar scene and restaurants and going out?
Yeah, so we're still in phase one over here. So there's mostly outdoor dining, some indoor, but you still can't sit at the bar, which is a huge bummer because that's my favorite thing to do is to just go out to a bar, have a seat, and chat with the bartender. And of course, as bartenders, that's how we cultivate relationships and how we get regulars and build a clientele and, you know, make those personal connections that keep people coming back. So it's just a different hustle for bartenders. I'm not working at a bar right now, but just observing, you can tell it's more, prep work and batching and that kind of thing, and not so much interacting with guests.
Yeah, so I guess do you still have US tourists, if you like, visiting? I mean, I'm guessing you don't have overseas tourists.
Definitely not. U.S. tourists here and there, but I think people are mostly staying where they are. Things
Right.
are progressing really slowly here. I just moved from New York, and I read today that they've just opened for indoor dining in New York restaurants. But conversely, I read that a bar in Brooklyn got shut down because it was revealed that they had 300 people inside, and one of the patrons was a child.
Oh my gosh.
So just absolutely wild that things some people think they can get away with. It's like if
Yeah.
everybody just followed the rules, we would probably be out of this a lot faster.
Yeah, so you mentioned not working at the moment. I mean, I've spoken to a few people across America who have made the conscious decision not to work because they don't feel it's safe. Is that something you've done, or has it been a forced sort of redundancy, or without the jobs out there?
Yeah, there definitely aren't as many jobs to be had. I have been doing some like freelance wedding gigs on the side, which is super fun and super easy. I'm surprised anyone is getting married right now, but I worked a wedding last weekend out of one of those like portable booze trucks, and that was a lot of
Nice.
fun. It felt really good to be behind the stick again and smashing out cocktails all night long. But yeah, as far as working in a bar, I think I would rather wait until I feel super safe. And
Yeah.
again, it's just a different hustle. If I can't have people sat at the bar and I'm basically just filling service tickets like a cashier at a fast food restaurant, that's just not the hustle any of us signed up for.
Yeah, fair enough. And so, talking about weddings, I mean, over here you're only allowed weddings of up to 30 people. Is it similar over there, or it can have larger events?
It should be. The wedding I worked was 85 people, and
Wow,
then I'm working another one on the 20th that's going to be about 100 people. So I'm kind of
wow.
surprised that they're not regulating it more, but they did keep it so everybody who you're sat with at the ceremony is the same people you're sat with at the reception, and there was no dancing. You kind of just had to stay with your same group, and of course, everybody's wearing a mask when they do come to get drinks. So yes, they're keeping it under control as best they can.
Okay, well, it's good to hear that things are happening over there anyway, and there's work to be had. So yeah, show us a cocktail. What is it you're making for us today?
For sure. So we spoke a little bit about local ingredients. I do have a local Portland Spirit and a Portland Bitters company that I'm going to feature. We are going into Negroni Week, which I believe is an international thing. So I thought I'd do a little end of summer Negroni riff. I am just going
Amazing.
to build in the glass here for simplicity's sake. Normally we would use a mixing glass, but since I'm at home, we're just going to keep it super easy. So the thing I love about Negronis is, of course, it's a 1-1-1 ratio. Everybody knows the standard Negroni is gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. But as long as you keep those three components, spirit, bitter, aperitif, fortified wine, then a Negroni can really be anything you want it to be. And you can play with the proportions as well. So this is a local Portland gin called Freeland. I'm a huge fan of it because it's all women owned and women run, which I think is super cool. So we're going to start with half an ounce of our Freeland gin right into the glass there. And then we're going to do half an ounce of Geneva. I think is a spirit that doesn't get as much play as it should. Geneva is kind of the grandfather to whiskey and gin, so it has like a malty quality, which I think the gin itself balances out really nicely so that it doesn't overwhelm the rest of the drink. And then this is an Aperol that I infused with freeze-dried strawberries. And I think the fruit definitely plays nicely off the malty quality of the Geneva. We're going to do a full ounce of that. And then this is a Lillet Blanc that I actually cut with half a dry Riesling. So that's our fortified wine component. And the Riesling just cuts through really nicely so that it's not too sweet from the freeze-dried strawberries. To tie everything together and give it a little bit more structure and spice, we're going to do a local, again, women-owned, women-run, the Bitter Housewife Cardamom Bitters. Just a few dashes right there. And then we're just going to give her a stir. I'll hold it up so everyone can see. Again, if you wanted to do this in a mixing glass for more dilution, it would probably be a little colder. But when I make cocktails for myself at home, stirred cocktails, I just build right in the glass over a 2x2 cube, and it's super easy. Normally I would zest it with an orange peel, but I'm out of citrus, so we're just gonna give her a try. That, if I do say so myself, is a great summer Negroni riff. I wish you could be with me.
I'm definitely going to try that. I love a Negroni, but cheers to that.
Cheers.
So, just a bit about yourself, really, like your bartending experience. And I know that you're quite a keen blogger when it comes to cocktails as well, aren't you?
Yes, I just recently launched a blog about a month ago that I've had this idea in my head for so long, and I'm really excited to see it come to fruition. So it's movie reviews accompanied by craft cocktail pairings inspired by the movie. So a thing I used to do when bars existed, I would sit at a bar, and if it was a mixologist that I had a feeling really knew their stuff, I would say, "What's your favorite movie?" And they would say, "Blue Velvet," and I would say, "Can you make me a Blue Velvet cocktail?" And they would. So that connection to me is so obvious, and I'm surprised that nobody else is doing it. And there are movie theaters here that do serve cocktails and food to your seat, pre-COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
And I would see them naming cocktails after the movie that they were showing, but it would just be like a classic cocktail. You know, it would be like a margarita or a French 75, and they just slapped a different name on it, but didn't change anything about the drink. So I thought it would be really cool to watch a movie and then take some inspiration from that and make a cocktail inspired by that movie. So
amazing. And where can we find that blog? Is that on, a link on your Insta?
Yeah, the website is in my Instagram bio. It's just thebardirector.com.
Okay, cool. We had a guy on from Tennessee maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he worked in a venue called the Cinema, which was an old movie cinema. Yeah, you two should definitely hook up and see if there's any inspiration you can throw each other's ways.
Yeah, definitely.
I might introduce you both. Okay, and then also back to your bartending. You've travelled the world, haven't you, with your mixology?
A little bit, yeah. I lived in Australia for a year. I did a working visa and bartended my way up and down the East Coast. The first restaurant I worked at there was actually called Tribeca NYC, and they were trying to do like a New York style restaurant in Surfers Paradise, Australia, and I'm pretty sure they just hired me because I'm from New York. But that was really cool to try to like bring my New York experience to an Australian restaurant, and I got to do the cocktail program there. And kept it real classic, you know, New York cocktails, Manhattans, old fashions, Cosmos, espresso martinis.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then also you worked in Manhattan, you were saying?
Yeah, so after Australia, I moved back to New York. I worked at a luxury hotel where I was fortunate to work under like a mentor who really honed my knowledge of craft cocktails. And then I moved into the city, and most recently I worked at a bar called The Flower Shop. That was actually Australian owned. Our chef was English and he was Michelin starred. So that was a super cool spot. And then right before COVID, I was hired as bar director of the first axe throwing bar in Manhattan. So unfortunately, that never came to fruition, but I hope that they do eventually get to open, although I'm a little wary of the idea of drinking and letting people throw axes.
Yeah, I get that. So what brought you back to, or what brought you into Oregon? Is it coming back home sort of thing, or have you
I'm
moved there
from New York, born and raised, and besides Australia, I've never really lived anywhere else. So with COVID, my partner is also a bartender. Obviously, we were both furloughed, lost our jobs, and we were collecting unemployment and able to save up a lot of money. So we said, screw it, let's just leave New York. You know, New York is not happening right now, so let's just have a change of pace and move somewhere completely different. He's from the South. He was born and raised in Florida, so we wanted to move to the West Coast because it's unfamiliar to either of us. So yeah. We just moved here finally, but we knew that Portland, under normal circumstances, has a really thriving bar and restaurant scene. So that's why we chose Portland.
Oh, what an awesome thing to do. Just literally pick up your stuff and just move elsewhere, just
yep.
Spontaneously.
Totally.
Oh, I'm definitely envious of that. And what's it like in comparison to New York then? I mean, obviously you can't have a true representation during COVID, but is it a lot slower pace?
Definitely. I think anywhere outside of New York is going to feel slower paced. And the West Coast lifestyle is notoriously just more like chilled out than the East Coast. Portland is a city, but to me it feels more like a big town because it's so small, but it's lovely. It definitely has its own culture. It's different from California. Definitely a huge foodie scene. They love their barbecue, their sandwiches, their donuts. They love craft cocktails. Lots of local distilleries, wineries, beer, pretty much anything you could want.
Okay, nice. And do you see yourself going back to New York anytime soon?
Yes, when I'm a millionaire, when I'm rich, I will go back to New York because it's a wonderful place, but you just can't sustainably live there unless you have a lot of money.
Yeah, fair enough. So, are you managing to go out and eat in bars and restaurants at the moment, or is it just literally a lockdown situation and you'd rather stay in?
We do try to go out, yeah, because there are still, of course, bars and restaurants, and as service industry people, we want to support the hospitality industry as much as we can. So we have been to some cool cocktail bars. We've been able to connect with some local bartenders and see what they're about. So it's been cool.
Yeah, and a bit of networking.
Yeah, always networking.
In inverted commas. Amazing. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on and having you make a drink and hearing all about you. What we'll do is we'll post the links to your Insta so people can follow your blog and that sort of thing. But I just want to say a massive thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great. Thank you, Dan. Cheers.
Everybody, it's Leah, the bar director in Portland, Oregon. Thank you. Massive thank you to Leah for coming on from Oregon, Portland, Oregon. We're hoping to get some other awesome bartenders from all around the globe. We've been speaking to South America, more places in North America, and we really want to get across to Asia, more in Europe. So hopefully we're going to get on board with a vineyard in Austria. So if there's anywhere that you want us to go, then let us know in the comments. Please tell us, where do you want us to go? We'll try and get there. What drinks do you want us to make? What ingredients do you want us to use? We'll try and get there. We'll try and use the ingredients. We'll try and speak to some people in some awesome places. Also, we've got stickers printed to help us promote around the world in 80 drinks. So if you want one, no matter where you are on this planet, let us know by dropping us an email, info@bareventsuk.com, or putting a comment on here and we'll contact you for your address and we'll get it in the post. Stick it on your bumper, stick it on your bar equipment, stick it in your window, stick it on your bar at home or in your bar in where you work. We'd love to get it out there to you. Please help share us. Please help share our Around the World in 80 Drinks with the whole globe. Don't forget, we'll put the links to Bax Botanics where we can. So on social media predominantly. We'll put the link to UK Bartenders Guild to find that. Declan McGurk, Nick Murdy and the Drinks Trust as well. So please follow the links, check out these guys, check out these spirits, check out these things that we're helping support. And I think otherwise that's it. Also, check out our music video. I'm going to play some of it now. It's only going to be a minute as long as the credits are, not very long. But please do have a look at it. It's one of the previous videos. This is a sample of it. I'm Dan Lakin. This has been Around the World in 80 Drinks. Thanks for watching. I'm done.